Hi! In our last video we announced that if we would move to Indonesia, we would love to live on the island of Lombok, which is located just east of Bali Island. In that video we share our views on why we would prefer to live there instead of the popular island of Bali. You can click on the link appearing above if you haven't seen that video yet.
Today we are going to see what the cost of living in Lombok will be. When doing research on this, we learned a lesson or two on how to find a place in Lombok. So watch the whole video to see what we have discovered.
So, in our other videos on living in Indonesia, we calculated how much we will actually need, to live there as a family of 3.
We have come up with the following calculations. Fixed monthly costs, which are rent, utilities and internet, $1,160. Groceries and eating out, $550. Health insurance, $550. School tuition fee, $600. Visa, $203. Help in the house, $250.
Yeah, this comes to a rough total of $3,500. To be on the safe side, we made it $5,000. We know you can live for far less in Indonesia, but we also know there are always unexpected costs. Plus, we also added our savings for travel and emergency airplane tickets back home to the Netherlands. That said, we did have a closer look to see if Lombok might be cheaper or more expensive.
If we look at the list of costs, we could expect that everything will be the same on other islands except for the rent and school tuition fees. We have found 2 schools that we liked on Lombok. One is located in Mataram City called Nusa Alam International School. Their tuition fee for our son would be around $4,400 per year, which is $366 a month. Another school is Mandalika Intercultural, which is located in the south of the island. Their tuition fee is around $4,000 a year, which is around $333 a month. Well, that is slightly lower than the $600 we calculated after doing research on schools in Bali and Jakarta.
Besides the school tuition fee, we were a bit unsure if the rent would be the same. Since Lombok is less popular for expats compared to Jakarta and Bali, we expected to be able to find a place for the same amount or even less, right?
True.
But we were surprised.
First of all, we visited the housing platform that we had recommended in our other videos, Rooma123.com and Ray White. Rooma123.com had no results, and for Ray White they had a couple of results. But don't get confused. These houses are not located in Lombok, but along a road called Jalan Lombok in Jakarta or Surabaya.
Then we googled long-term rental Lombok. At first you are hopeful and you would think that like Bali and Jakarta there will be lots of choices. But when we look closer, let's just say rentroomlombok.com, we notice that the prices are pretty steep. Plus it's a monthly rent and some are even just a tiny studio. Or at Rent by Owner, well, this is basically a hotel booking website. Or on this website here, they just have nothing at all.
And if you do find something, then again the prices are per night. Of course, if it fits your budget, then that's fine. But it feels like that these listings are more for holiday renting than actually for long-term living. On the Lombok Expat Facebook group, we did find advertisements for places for rent. Once you have decided to go, you can ask the group for tips. We contacted a few that offered various types of accommodation.
One was a nice luxury villa. It's a 4-bedroom villa and is $10,200 a year, which is roughly $850 a month. We would say a bit the same as in less popular areas in Bali. Another brought us to an Airbnb listing, which is around $820 a month.
To get an idea of what is out there, here are a couple of other examples we found on this Facebook expat group page. Some are actually Indonesian houses, others are rooms like on a villa complex, while you have studios as well.
So we wondered, why isn't there much choice online? Perhaps there's just not enough housing available catered to expats, or Lombok is just not that far ahead on putting information online like other parts in Indonesia. Or maybe they have only focused on upscale housing, making it only possible to rent a house that's just expensive as Bali and Jakarta.
Yeah, but then we thought maybe it would be better not to use English when searching on Google, but to use Indonesian. Also, we noticed that instead of Lombok, you get other search results if you use Nusa Tenggara Barat. Lombok is an island of the province Nusa Tenggara Barat.
Even Rumah123.com has some listings now, as you can see. Most of them are bungalows located on the Gili Islands, mainly for tourists. There is one typical Indonesian house, but in our opinion, it needs a lot of pimping to feel at home here.
But there might be a suitable one like this one. Not sure if it has a kitchen though. Looks more like a holiday accommodation than an actual house for living with the family. So if we would enter Rumah Kontrakan Nusa Tenggara Barat, we found different typical Indonesian houses, most of them pretty small though. Prices were totally different than you would search in English. You could get a house for $2,000 per year, if not less.
As you can tell, Indonesians do not put much effort in interior design. But if you're lucky, you can find something that can work if you want to keep the rent low. You will not have a pool. You are likely going to live side by side in a housing complex in the center of Mataram city, the capital of Lombok Island. Location-wise, we prefer to leave the city behind. If you agree with us and are thinking of moving more towards the south around Mandalika area, where there's a larger group of expats as well, then you should check for listings in the area Pujut. As for the type of house, we would consider it a cheaper place as long as it's well maintained, right?
Yes, exactly. We know that in Indonesia, life is different compared to here. For instance, in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, people tend to live indoors more, and therefore a nice house with matching furniture seems far more important than if you would be living in Indonesia.
Yeah. Since we will earn an income through our online business, we would need to make sure there is enough space to work comfortably in a not too noisy neighborhood. A garden, of course, that will create some sense of space, and this would be really wonderful. But we think that we would be outdoors more when living in Indonesia, making it less important to have a fancy house. That said, if you can afford a villa, with a pool, then, why not? I wouldn't mind jumping in the pool before having breakfast, of course.
While Lombok is not as popular as Bali, the rent might make the fixed monthly cost slightly higher. Unlike Bali, there isn't a real in-between category when it comes to an actual house. We are not talking about the cheap long-term homestay rentals here. We are talking about a house suitable to live long-term with a family. If you don't want to live in a typical Indonesian housing complex house, then you will fall into the villa with pool category, making rent pretty expensive. For now, Lombok still attracts us more than Bali. If we plan to move there, we will definitely visit this island beforehand so we can check out schools and then decide where we want to live on the island. Also, unlike Bali, I think you can find better types of housing when you are actually there. I can imagine that when you drive through these housing complexes, you will see many empty houses with a sign for rent on it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Of course, we are curious about what you guys think. If you are considering Indonesia, were you thinking of moving to Bali? And after seeing this video, is Lombok an option for you too? Please let us know in the comments below. Your ideas and views will perhaps help us make a decision as well.
And if you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing to our channel.
And of course, if you like this video, please click the like button to let us know.
For now, thank you for watching till the very end of this video, and we hope to see you next time. Bye bye!
Bye bye!